Hi, today this is Kevin O'Keefe on our Business Spotlight series. Today I'm talking to Anne Gallagher, the founder of the Beauty Kit, and she's based in Dundrum in Dublin. So Anne, maybe just passing over to you. What do you do, and for how long have you been doing it?
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for having me on today.
Welcome.
So I'm the founder of the business, thebeautykit.com, and I started up the business just over 3 years ago. I started it up because, to be honest, my background is in marketing, and I have spent many years working at L'Oreal. And at the time, we were so frustrated with the fact that so many Irish customers were buying in the UK, buying from really sophisticated, high quality UK online beauty retail sites. And for us as an Irish business at the time with L'Oreal, we could see our UK counterparts really doing well in the online space. And we didn't have the platforms here in the Irish market to do that.
Mhm.
And being honest, I didn't have the courage at that stage to give up my job and take the plunge into a small business. So I moved on with my career and I actually went to SPAR Ireland as marketing manager. And I thought I learned a little more about retail, about wholesaling, all of that, and see where that takes me. And anyone who's worked in retail of that kind will know that convenience retailing in particular is so fast paced that there was no time to sit back and think about starting a business. Before I knew it, 4 years of my life had gone by working in SPAR, and there wasn't really time to think otherwise, apart from torturing my husband every now and then, going, I really want to do this. Apart from that, I actually didn't get the headspace to go ahead and do it. So I made the decision then that this was it. If I didn't do it then, I would never do it. So I handed my notice in and I focused on starting up the business. Now, to be honest, since those years had passed, those 4 years, other Irish platforms had become more sophisticated, had improved in quality, and I could see that it was now a more competitive space than it would have been 4 years previous. But
Okay.
nonetheless, I felt that actually that was an opportunity rather than something to turn me off, because it meant that this space was growing. And what better time to get involved than into a space that is growing? So I briefed a web partner, got the website designed, and then tapped kind of back into some of my contacts from my L'Oreal days, got in touch with other suppliers, and really wanted to set up the Beauty Kit as a website that was targeting mid to high end beauty products.
Okay.
So focused on a consumer that valued, good quality products and could buy them from a trusted source. So that was what it was always about for me, was developing a website that had a lovely feel, really nice aesthetically, easy to use, a good user experience, very fast and efficient delivery, but also that it was a platform they could really trust, from an Irish woman in business that they could reach out to anytime and connect with. And that's really where it came from.
Fantastic. That's a fantastic journey. And so you probably cover this a bit already, but who would you say is your best customer or group of customers? What's their profile like?
Well, it's primarily female, I have to be honest. Like, there are some male customers, but majority are certainly female. It would probably, in marketing terms, sit in the ABC one kind of category.
Okay.
My consumer actually skews slightly older than some of my competitors in the Irish beauty e-commerce space, because I think a lot of the products and the brands that I have on board, the likes of Pestle and Mortar skincare, Olaplex hair care, they're a higher price point than some of maybe the younger professionals starting out want to spend their money on. They want more kind of lower priced, fast turnaround products. So I think my consumer would probably be females in the age of about 28 to 44, around that age category.
Okay.
And they're actually very loyal. It's still a small business, but what I see is a lot of repeat custom. So people who come to shop with the Beauty Kit tend to come back again. And that's a really positive thing.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if the customers are coming back, must be getting what they want. Definitely,
That's what we'd hope. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the next question I have is, COVID, in many ways, you were prepared for COVID. So, were there any business changes you had to consider that COVID-19 made a necessity?
Yes, well, actually, at the outset of COVID, because nobody really knew, none of us really knew, did we, what to
No.
expect? At that stage, I was using a third-party logistics partner for all of my shipping and storage and all of that. And I actually made the decision to move all of that in-house into our office because I was concerned about lockdowns and not being able to have access to stock or receive deliveries. So that was the biggest business change that I made at that time. And actually, it worked out to be a cost saving for the business as well. As a small business, you're always trying to cut costs. So it was a good move, I think, at the time. But then the opposite effect really happened where everybody was, doing two things. They were switching to online shopping, which was wonderful for a business like mine. But also there was this wonderful trend of supporting local, which emerged from COVID. And it wasn't just in terms of people shopping local, which definitely, took off, but it was also a case that there was a lot of PR around small business owners like myself. There was a lot of prominent influencers and people who are very prominent in the beauty industry reaching out to help small business owners like me and to give us a platform and give us an opportunity to be featured. And that really raised the caliber of my business and gave me an exposure that I didn't expect actually at that time. So it was a really positive thing.
Fantastic. So we had a silver lining there, and opportunities when there was sort of chaos all around us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So and the actions you've taken because of the pandemic, what are the some that will remain part of your business at this stage?
Well, we actually maintained the in-house structure for the moment. I think with time we're going to have to possibly outsource again. But for the moment, we've managed to keep everything on an in-house basis and operate a small system. So that's probably the one thing that we've made the big change with. But otherwise, I think it's just been a case of really focusing on building that trust that we established during that time. As you said, like so many people had so much uncertainty and fear. And because they kind of turned to local and supporting local, I think it's hanging on to that relationship with our customers and keeping that and maintaining it into the future.
Fantastic. That's fabulous. Yeah, absolutely. It is all about the relationship and trust, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. So what is your biggest learn? I'm sure you've had hundreds, but what's your biggest learning since you've been a business owner all that time ago, 4 years ago?
Well, being honest, like I think for me, coming from a marketing background, I was so used to dealing with teams of people and agencies, and you were sort of never alone in your thought process or brainstorming. And one of the biggest learnings for me when I started my business first, and when I walked away from like the SPAR marketing team to suddenly being in my office by myself, it was the sense of isolation was the biggest challenge.
Mm.
I thought, for me, starting a business, and I've spoken to lots of business owners, and I'm sure that they'll be able to relate to this because many have told me they felt exactly the same, that there is a real sense of isolation and almost loneliness, that you are now on your own flying this ship. You have to try and figure everything out. You mean the amount of technological things I've had to figure out. My son, who's 12, often has said to me, if you had a superpower, what would it be? And I've always said, all I want is an IT expert in my head who can fix things when they go wrong, because the days of the big IT department in L'Oreal are that they're so far in the past for me. So I think the biggest learning for me has been to reach out to business groups,
Okay.
use networking opportunities. And the first step I took actually very early in the foundation of my business was I did a springboard course with the Irish Times Training. It was an entrepreneurial course, an advanced certificate in management. And there was a group of 30 of us in the room. We did it once a week, full time, like all day, once a week, every Wednesday. And we used to get together, and it was fantastic because it was like an opportunity to get heads together of people who were all in the same situation, starting new businesses. And we were together for about 9 months, and then we graduated in Belfast. Ulster University accredited the certificate. So it was just a wonderful collection of people coming together. I think in the end, about 20 people out of the class actually finished and graduated, but we still have a WhatsApp group. We reach out to each other if we, have a challenge, we don't know what to do. And that was just one network of people that I found really supportive. And other than that, the local enterprise is phenomenal. Great. So I've leaned on the local enterprise as well to try and fill those gaps of not having lots of people, but that the supports are there if you just reach out and find them.
Absolutely, yeah, and I mean I couldn't agree with you more. I mean we've a lot of programs ourselves like that, but and yeah, people learning from each other, business owners learning from each other, I think is one of the most efficient ways, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's the and so what offers would you like to include in the Action Coach newsletter?
Well, I'd love to offer your viewers and listeners and clients an exclusive 20% discount off the beautykit.com. So
Fantastic.
I'll let that run for the rest of this year. If there's any time that they would like to log on, check out the website and send us a message with their thoughts, maybe, and feedback, because as an isolated business owner, it's always great to get feedback. So if you're anyone who's logging in would like to, they can avail of that 20% discount. And all they need to do is use the word business in the checkout to get that
Business.
20% off.
Business and checkout. Okay, fantastic. That's a brilliant offer. Thanks very much, Anne. And so maybe just to finish up, what is most inspiring to you today?
I think after coming along this journey over the last few years, I suppose, as we talked about already, the COVID impact was a bit of a shock to everyone because it shook up how everybody does business and how we relate to each other. And I think what I found most inspiring at that stage in my business was watching other female-led businesses in the Irish market and how they embraced this new trend for supporting local and really supported each other. And I found it really inspiring watching those female businesses flourish during COVID. And watching even how since we've kind of emerged out the other side, how they've started to reconnect with each other face to face, which, as we were talking about earlier, there's not a huge amount, even of that yet, but we're getting there, I think. And I just feel really inspired watching other business women and how they grow their businesses. And I hope to be able to emulate that myself in the future.
Fantastic. Excellent note to finish on. Listen, Anne, it was great talking to you today. And we look forward to getting this video out to our database through our newsletter.
Thanks very much for the opportunity, Kevin.
Very welcome.